You've been well?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Dr. J and my good friend Jake, streaming live from the eastern end of Long Island, New York. And I don't know what part of Texas Austin is in.
That's Central Texas, the hill country. Really the best part of Texas.
Would you say deep in the heart of Texas?
Yeah, Central Texas, also known as the hill country.
The hill country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's a song, Deep in the Heart of Texas, right?
You know, I used to be a country guy, song.
Okay, so we're going to discuss what is some of the stocks that are making Dr. J rich this week, some of them that will make me rich, but haven't yet, and some of them that are not making me rich at all. And you can add to that list. We'll do anything you want, Jake, and anything that some of our viewers might request. Greg is on with us. Depressing day, and yeah, it's raining here in Eastern Long Island. It's probably raining where Greg is in Long Island. I was going to head out of Eastern Long Island back to the Middle Island, but I might just stay another day. Clarence from upstate New York, our resident expert. Linda. I don't know where Linda's from. I forget.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
How you doing, Linda? Catherine's from Texas.
I know Heath is from South Carolina.
Heath is from South Carolina. Heath is having a good week. I'm glad to hear that.
Mm.
He's having a good week on all fronts, right, Heath? Everything going your way this week? That's what we like to hear. Confucia said tough. Confucia, thought choice. I like Germantown with the tubing South Austin. He's talking about, yeah. You know from what he's talking about, I guess.
Yeah. Yep, New Bronx. Good town.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Tomorrow should be better, right, Greg? I think the forecast is better. I hate these rainy days. It gets me depressed, and yeah, I don't like them at all.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to share screen and get to work. I didn't chart anything ahead of time, so we'll chart. I mean, I have most of my drawings done already, so it shouldn't be a problem. We're going to look at CVM first. I think we have to, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Good week, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Finally broke out of the channel.
So it's beautiful in Northeast Texas, Catherine says.
Oh, yeah, here too. So nice and sunny.
Nice and sunny, okay.
Mm.
So let's look at,
Hmm.
we're going to look at CVM first. I called it on Tuesday that it was going to be $18 a share by the end of the week. I overshot a little, I guess. I don't think it's going to make 18 today. Maybe it was partly wishful thinking. But I can't complain. Cannot complain. How is the Dow doing? Up 221.
Yep, everything's up.
Yeah, S&P is up 13. All right, everything looking all right. Russell is up. Everything's okay, the way it should be, the way we like it. Way to end a good week is with a good Friday.
Yeah, it was a pretty good week, eh?
Yeah. Had a very good week in terms of stocks. Can't complain at all.
Mm.
Even though I was pulled down by Nicola and what's my other? Well, MISO, Nicola. I had a few that pulled me down. A couple of the SPACs. Not good. Yeah. DraftKings had a bad week, so I had a few clunkers in there. But CVM and NWBO, more than made up for it just single-handed, not to mention the performance of my blue chips, tremendous steady performance. So CVM is off today, at least for now. Not by much, pennies. Oh my God, oh my God. Look at that tremendous green candle yesterday. That's tremendous. Candle like that warms the cockles of my whatever. I refuse to say what body part. The next today, it's just got a little, tiny little red body, and it's all lower shadow, which is good. So the candle is actually a good candle. And it tried to sell off and couldn't. I like that. Hit a low of 1570, bounced off of that low, and actually made a new high on the day by a penny. So all in all, even today's lackluster performance so far is still bullish. What a bullish run we've had from the levels of 928 when we had a low of 1190. Nice move. CVM is paying off for those who are holding. And I think partially it's fueled by the 29% short position in CVM. Man pointed that out last week. So I think it's in the top 10 most heavily shorted biotechs.
Oh,
so,
wow. That's
yeah,
great.
it made the list, CVM.
Wow. Top 10?
Top 10. Well, there's been a massive bearish campaign led by that Florida outfit. A lot of shorts out there trying to cash in, but it's gone against them this week.
Yes, it's also one of the highest short fees I've seen in any stock.
Yeah, everything is high. The premiums are short.
Used to be 60%.
Right. What's the premium? The premium on the puts are very high as well.
Now, premiums on anything is extremely high.
Yeah, call or put. Right.
Yeah.
So it's probably better to write these things than to buy than to
Oh
buy.
yeah. I mean, writing it, is ridiculous. Like you could have made, yeah. I mean,
Could have made tons of money watching it expire every month.
Oh yeah.
But the question is not what we could have done. The question is what we should do now. That's the question.
Yeah.
Now, I have no choice but to sell whatever call options I have left after. So that I'll be doing. I have 15s. I'll get something for them. Yeah, I will not get what I paid for them, but I'll get something. So the only calls I'll have left are the Januaries. And that's what you have. Your position is January calls and nothing else, right?
Yeah, December.
Oh, December. That should be, logically, that should be sufficient, logically.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Very expensive.
Yeah. So where is it going from here? I think we will just see more of this uptrend for a while. Now, you said last week you thought you'd have a chance to buy again at $12 a share before data. Do you still think that to be the case?
Yeah, I think so.
You do. But I see it going to 18, 19 prior to that. Because I think we're on too big a run to just stop. It's going to continue going for a while. Maybe 19 might be the top. But I think we put in a top before we decline. And if we put in the top at 19, there isn't going to be that much time to go down to 12. So how about we meet halfway between 9 and 12 for prognostication? I would go with 1550.
Oh.
Back with 1 point.
Maybe.
I'm going to say that it's going to continue to run.
I think one more short attack before data.
Well, if it hits 19 and it goes to 15, that's a pretty good short attack. It doesn't have to go to 12, you know. I think shorts are still covering right now. And you can see it from this candle alone. You know, the shorts are covering. They had a little dip and they covered. I don't think it's so much new money coming in as much, well, at a certain extent, but also shorts covering.
Yeah. I don't think any new money is coming in either.
That's what's been fueling the rally here.
Everyone's already, I already have their position.
Yeah, I think so.
That's placed.
There might be a few newbies come in, but not maybe a few toots might add, but that's about it. Okay, let's go to the other hot biotech for the week. This thing has been making tons of money for me, much more than I ever dreamt when I bought it at 33 cents. $1.67 up 20. It's like every time I look, it's up 15% more.
Yeah,
this has been a crazy run. You know, I first bought it at 15 cents, sold it at 39. Then a month later or 2 months later, bought it at 33 cents, sold some at 53 cents and kept the rest. I sold enough that I wouldn't be hurt if it goes bust, which it could still do based on data.
When is data expected for that?
The data lock has been in already over a week.
Yeah.
They say 2 weeks for the statisticians, right? So I'm expecting it Monday, Tuesday.
Wow.
Wednesday. It's imminent. So what do you think this is now? Do those the Vegas types that want the piece of the action?
I mean, it's risky. What's your do you know anything about the science behind this? How are you feeling about that?
The science is pretty good. It's these dendritic cells. They're supposed to have an amazing whatever they do, gobble up those the tumor cells. It's pretty good science. If it proves out for what do you call this, glioblastoma, then which is a solid tumor. I don't see why it's not going to be applicable to many other tumors, solid tumors. So yeah, I mean, this one could be the beginning of a big run, not the end. That's how amazing it is. If the data is good, this is like better than CVM.
Yeah, no, this is a crazy one. Brain cancer.
Really crazy one.
Yeah. I just don't know anything about the science.
I'm not sure about the science, but I don't really care. We'll know in a couple of days whether the science is good or not. I'm not going to make a determination. I'm not a researcher. I'm not a doctor. And even if I were, I wouldn't know. Probably, I still wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, you're a doctor. You're just not a medical doctor.
Right. But even if I were a medical doctor, even if I were a brain cancer doctor, I might not have much more of a feel for it. Even if I were a top oncologist on the treating glioblastoma, I might have to wait for the data the same way to find out. It's a tough one. I don't think being a doctor is going to get a medical doctor is going to give you much of a leg up, and I don't think looking into the science is going to give you much of a leg up. So I think the only thing you can do now, if you own it, is well, you could take profits or take half profits and let the rest ride if you haven't already. Or you could just let it all ride if you got a big, if you're a Vegas type.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that, but I think if you know the science, you definitely have to leg up.
I don't think so. Not on this one.
Yeah, maybe not in this one, but in general, I mean, you could read past, success. You read a trial in detail, understand the design of the phase three. Kind of make a lot of, yeah.
I think on this one, it's going to work or it's not going to work, and we're going to find out.
Hmm.
Now, MISO is kind of the same thing. I'm going to go to them next.
Yeah,
Is Kamal here? Is Kamal present? Did he show up? He requested MISO.
I don't see him.
I'm going to do it anyway. Assume he'll catch it on replay. For all of those of you who aren't live in our chat or aren't watching live, welcome to the replay, the videotape replay of Dr. J, Jake, and friends. We welcome you whether you're watching it live or not. Although, do try to come live. It's much more fun, especially when Jiggly is around, right? Right, Jake? Jiggly
Yeah.
He livens things up a bit.
MISO is interesting for me.
Very.
Yeah, this one is interesting for me, especially with the lower back pain and heart failure data coming out this quarter. I mean,
well, we don't know when we already got news that they exceeded the halfway mark on the COVID-19 odds race. They treated more than 150 patients, 300. So if you figure they treated exactly 151 and it took them 3 months, it'll take them 3 more months to finish, right? Okay, great.
Yeah, so let's say 3 more months, but then you got 2 catalysts this quarter with the heart failure and the back pain.
Well, we don't know exactly the timing. They say this quarter, but I find that give it a little more than what they say. So heart failure may not happen until first quarter.
Yeah, I don't know their track record of adhering to their guidance.
Again, I didn't do my homework. I don't know if it's an event-driven study, but it may be. And if it's an event-driven study and you need like 30% events, meaning deaths, you got to wait. And hopefully, the longer you wait, the better your results are. Similar to CVM. I'm not again. That's that. I have not been doing my homework in terms of fundamentals because I go mainly by the charts. Now, of course, if I went strictly by the charts, I'd be out of this one. I would not hang around. Once it took the nosedive, I'd be out. But
yes, so you do have to rely on the fundamental here. So
I'm not a purist when it comes to technical analysis. I believe in combining the two. Get a much better feel.
All right. So fundamental is that you're here for the heart failure.
Mainly, yes.
Yeah, mainly. Okay. Interesting. What about the lower back pain? Is that too small?
That's, I mean, there are millions of people who suffer from lower back pain, so it can't be ignored. And what about the host versus graft? They're going to be meeting with the FDA. That's not over.
No, don't. I wouldn't count on that. It's going to take years. I mean, if anything, that's more of a burden right now.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, what you hope for with this one is that the company plans to really pump the stock price for the heart failure and lower back pain so that they can dilute to pay for the additional follow-on study with the
with the host versus graft.
Yeah. So it could be a good play for the 2 catalysts. Assuming that well, we're on the right side of the bet.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole thing is a heart study. The other one is a plus, but the cardiac heart failure, that's the whole thing, in my mind.
Yeah, this could be a good one actually. I mean, and you have the bonus, right, with the COVID.
COVID is a big bonus.
Yeah.
If they win the odds race, that'll double the stock overnight.
Yeah. So even if you don't take that into account, there's still two huge catalysts. Hopefully this quarter, the company follow guidance. So this could be a gift of a dip here. I'm not in it yet, but
Right, right.
watching closely.
It's a very interesting stem cell company. Remestel L is the name of their drug. I always forget the name, but I happened to catch it earlier. So that's the name of it. It's I forget. They differentiate the different types of stem cells. Mesenchymal. I can't even say the names, but that's what it is. That's some mispronunciation, or I'm sure I have it pronounced wrong. I got to go to diction school for biotechnology. It's tough to say these names. I don't know why they come up with such crazy names. Anyway, the type of stem cells between the various stem cell companies all seem to differ a little bit. Athesis is a little different and so on. But they're in there for the same indications. Macular degeneration is one, spinal cord injuries, lower back, anti-inflammatory things like COVID odds. I don't know. Well, it's all the same. Ischemic stroke, anti-inflammatory, heart failure. I don't know exactly the mechanism that makes it effective for stem cell treatment. But they're in all of these similar areas. I think Athesis was talking about doing a study for heart attacks, stem cells for heart attacks. So they're down the road, of course. So let them do well with their ischemic stroke. It was going so good. It was in such a beautiful upward trend, expecting approval. It's a real shame. I'm still upset over this one because I was really shocked when the turn down occurred by the FDA. Total shock on this one.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
So what's going to make us money? BCRX, right?
That's my heart.
MISO is going to make us money, and so is BCRX, right?
Yeah, MISO is interesting. BCRX, largest position. I mean, basically said all that needs to be said for BCRX from a fundamental standpoint, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got Galley and you got Barrow, and they both happened this quarter. So,
yeah, Galley's up next.
Which is up?
Galley
before Barrow.
I do believe it will be after the election, though.
Okay. I mean, like all the other biotechs recently, it's got a little upward trend line that it's adhering to. It's looking good. The chart is looking okay. And now it's a question of waiting on the news. And what would you expect if Galley news is really good? Would you expect to double overnight?
If Galley news is really good, no one knows, honestly. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe 7 or 8, maybe 9. I mean, it's hard to say, you know? It's just such an unprecedented thing, the pandemic. And we are in part 1, so there's that. But if the data is really good and it's picked up by some mainstream media, then yeah, it can, I think, in more than double.
Yeah, but conservatively, it should double. It should go to $8.
Sure. You know, the interesting thing is that the short, I mean, there's a lot more shares available to short. So it either mean that, well, it could mean that the shorts are, returning their shares. Um, Sitting around 1,500 or 1.5 million shares available on borrow desk. So I do think shorting pressure is decreasing.
Yeah. Well, the chart is showing that as well with this nice upward move over the last 2 weeks. So I don't see the shorts increasing their position just from the chart. And it's on relatively low volume.
Yeah.
Little steady climb.
Yeah, volume has been low, which is also interesting.
I really like the fact that it took out the high of 929. The 386 high is gone. So I like that. And the next high that we got to take out is the one of 915, 417. 417 high has to go. And it should. By the end of next week, I'm calling for a break of 417. Just by a continuation of the trend line. So all it has to do is hold trend. And it should break this key high by next Friday. And probably will in anticipation of galley news. I personally think galley news is going to be very good. I don't know how good, but it will be good.
I think so too. Well, I mean, the science so far, science so far. I mean, what we've seen, right? I mean, we actually know more than what the company has been putting out. We know that test tube data is good. Doctors, who are close to the drugs, is saying that it works. The company hasn't been, putting this or PRing the good news, right? I mean, the NIAID and the government, I mean, it's like over $100 million worth of grant for galidesivir.
Right. Now, also, how could it miss doing in the terms of the trial? It's up against hydroxychloroquine. It has to come out on top. It's just a question of how good. It'll come out on top. It's a question of how good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good news and bad news, right? The good news is that the government is funding the trial. The bad news is that the government is doing the trial.
Right, right. I get you.
Yeah, I do suspect some political shenanigan with this one. Like honestly, so I expect it after the election.
All right. I mean, I don't know what the timing will be, but I think you'll continue to see the upward trend into the end of next week, at least. Probably right if it happens, like you say, till after the election, I suspect we'll see an upward trend right through till the election, and after, until we get the news. I think it'll climb. Yeah. So I think we're done with seeing new bottoms. I think we've reversed it here. So we have between the technicals and the fundamentals, BCRX looks like a place to be. Now here's one that doesn't look like a place to be, and then Dr. J had to eat crow. I gave up half my position today. I sold it at 2020. Should have sold all my position, but I'm hoping against hope that things work out with the GM deal. They're hanging their hats on the GM deal, and largely because of the short attack, which sent the stock plummeting. GM wants to renegotiate better terms, and I don't know if they'll get together. If they don't get together, it's a killer. It'll be a killer on the stock price. If that deal falls through, you're probably looking at below 15. So I had to sell some. I mean, I started buying this at 30. I bought it as low as 18. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to get it out at half. Because, everything's green in my portfolio almost. I take a look at this and I get upset. I don't like getting upset. So the fundamentals are not good. It's just worrisome. The break of the GM deal could set them back a long ways, both financially and production-wise. So it's just not a good thing. It's as much the fundamentals as the technicals, and the fact that I'm a human being that don't like to see blood red every day in my portfolio coming from the same place. I had to make the bleeding stop at least a little. So I unloaded half. Another one that I took punishment, but not, fortunately unloaded almost half of it prior to the deluge. It's Cytokinetics, which had a heart failure drug, just like MISO, but a different action, different mechanism of action. It's called contractility of muscle. And they administered this for a long time, long-running trial, I don't know how many years. And Amgen, their partner, Amgen, was very optimistic, and even they took a hit, big company, based on this deluge of the 8th of October. And it's going to take a while for this stock to come back. It does have other trials in neurodegenerative diseases. So, it's not dead, but it's not some place I would want to put new money into. So that's my summation there. And here's one that I made more on percentage-wise than any biotech or any other stock this year, I think. That I'm still in anyway. FedEx doesn't want to do anything but make new highs.
Yeah, I know. That was a great call.
Yeah, it ran from 88 to where it is now. My new target is 350, and I'm still buying. Accumulating, I should say, FDX. I have an average probably about 150. So I'm doing quite well. It's a nice percentage gain. And I see no reason for it not to continue running. At least as long as we have a bull market, it's certainly going to be a leader of this bull market. And as long as COVID is around, it's doing tremendous business. I don't know what happens when COVID is not around. Maybe it's time to take a little off the table then. Because it is a COVID play. You can call it whatever you like, but it is a COVID play. To a certain extent, so is Amazon, and so is Walmart. To a certain extent. COVID plays. Probably Walmart more than Amazon. And those are my other big holdings in the blue chip area. Amazon and Walmart. Walmart being my biggest holding in my portfolio, actually. I'm still very bullish Walmart, but not as bullish as I am FedEx.
What's your price target for FedEx?
350.
350.
By March. By March.
By March. Wow.
By the end of March. In other words, 2 quarters. Half a year.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Half a year. It started in March of 20 at 88. It started this way.
I know. No, that was ridiculous.
So how many months is that? 9? March? Not even. April, May, June, July, August. 6 months. It went from 88 to 285. I think it was 88. I could check. There's some number around there. March. So this would be the low, right around here, right around this one. Yeah, 89.
Yeah.
88.69. It's unbelievable. It's straight up. It's a super bullish blue chip of the year. Amazing move.
Yeah, who'd have thought, right? Blue chips.
Yeah. You make 4 times the money, 3 times.
Yeah.
There's one that I've been feeling pain. DraftKings. Now, what do I do with this one? Do I sell it? I'm still ahead. My average. I averaged in.
Oh so yeah,
I'm still ahead, but I don't like this. You could argue that we found support at the 50, and maybe we did. We have an sort of an ABC type correction already. I think it's come off enough off the top.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, you made enough money on this, like honestly.
Yeah.
Way better plays.
Yeah.
Good company, position, good management team.
At this point, I'm not selling. I may be adding. I may nibble, not add a lot, just nibble.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
I see this one potentially being $100 by the same time next year.
Oh wow, that's a bold move.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. California is talking about legalizing betting. I think it's on the ballot. I'm not sure. Yeah. If it's on the ballot and they legalize sports betting, DraftKings will pop it on that alone. Could pop 20 points on California. California, here I come. And they got other catalysts. I mean, it looks good. They're the leading name in sportsbook.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. The competitors aren't even close to touching DraftKings.
Well, I don't know. LCA has got a good day today. I don't know what the news was.
Yeah, I mean, like stock wise, sure, but LCA is terrible in terms of the just user experience. I mean,
I don't know. I don't gamble with these things, so I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I. But as a tech guy, I'm not bullish on LCA. It's just like DraftKings is so much
better experience.
Yeah, so much of a better experience, and the management team once again, DraftKings is solid. LCA, I mean, like LCA is background, right? The Fertitta brothers, right?
Well, I have a small position in it, and considering the price action, I'm not going to sell. I might even consider adding. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just better off adding to DraftKings and forget about LCA. Now, in terms of the pot space, I got rid of the ACB already. We took a quick loss on that one. And I don't like the action in the pot space. Considering that the federal government will decriminalize pot with a Democratic victory, which is likely, I think, it should be behaving better, the pot space. So I'm watching this one carefully. I'm up on from my initial investment the other day, but I bought it probably, I don't remember what I paid, but I'm up. I'm watching CGC carefully. I might get rid of Kronos. I'm keeping Tilray and Canopy as of now. I still own Kronos, but I got rid of VFF. So I'm starting to unload a little bit. I unloaded ACB and VFF just to update people on where I stand on pot. My biggest position I didn't touch, Curaleaf. Curaleaf, I think, is doing better than the rest. Even today, I think it's doing better. I'll take a quick look at Curaleaf.
Yeah.
Vertically integrated company. It's actually up 3 pennies. It's had a very, very nice pop from the low back here. Very nice pop from 924 when it was at 581. I see it probably continuing to make new highs. So I like this one the best of all the pot stocks that I'm in. I think it's going to take out this high and make new highs. 970, here we come. So my call on this one would be $12 by the end of first quarter 21. I got a $12 target in my mind on this one. Anybody request anything on the site? In StreamYard? Let's see.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to go jump to a meeting. You take over from here.
What time is it now? 1:15?
What's that?
1:15, right?
Yeah.
The people on the board are discussing Amarin and MTND and these fishy things.
All right.
Hey, take care. Thank you.
Calibus too. Let them know about Calibus. That's a good one. You like that one? CLBS.
So Kimberly Clark and Dr. J owns a nice chunk of them. MMM is one of my biggest holdings. I don't talk about it too often. KMD is not quite as big a holding, but I definitely believe in that. Gilead. Gilead is one I've not been able to get behind. So, and it's been a slow mover. I could take a look at it. Kamal, I know you're in Gilead. I don't know, Kamal. Why is I don't know. It's hovering near the bottom. The chart is not good unless there's some fundamentals at work here that I don't know about. I'm not overly keen on this one. Arjun, good to see you. Wait until after the offering to buy in on what? ADM, what are we talking about? ADMA? Athesis. Linda wants to see Athesis. So let's see Athesis. I think it's flat on the day, right? I unloaded a little bit more, just a little bit more. I shouldn't say unloaded. I shed a little. I shed some shares. I shed some shares last week. Looks like it's good that I did. I'm not keen on it near term, and I love it long term. So long term is not a fair word, but medium term. I like it for let's say beginning. I think we move on this November and December, which is very close. So the truth of the matter is, I guess I like it. If I like it beginning in November, it's almost there. So it's probably just doing its consolidation thing right now, and you got catalysts coming up in Japan. So you can't really sell a lot of it. I have a lot of it. I sold a little. I might just have to add that because I've got a little confused as to the timing. We're getting close to Japanese data, and I want to be in it to win it for Japanese stroke data. I think that'll come out good. So we're very near support, or if not at support. I'm not going to sell anymore. I might actually be a buyer on my next transaction. With Athersys might be a buy. I don't like the fact that they're in the odds race. I don't think they're going to win. I think it's costing them money. I think it was a mistake. They got the shaft by Bada, and that's the problem. But every company gets unlucky sometimes or makes mistakes. Let's see what happens in Japan. That's going to tell the whole story, nothing but the story, etc., etc. AEMD showed a little life today. Linda wants to get the most she can out of Dr. J today. You're making me think. Linda's making me think. AEMD, it's one of my favorites because I think the potential is enormous. I mean, I could lose certainly almost every penny I put in, but I'm willing to take that chance because I think you can easily, on any good news, meaning the COVID trial, if that shows promise as a COVID fighter, as a pandemic fighter, then 10 times the money almost overnight. So I got to be in it to win it. That's how I feel about it. The chart is okay. It's turned around. It's turned around. It's off bottom. So is most of the biotech world. So I wouldn't get too excited about the chart, but it has turned around, and I like this spike. It's a sign of more spikes to come. That's been a pattern with this company. It spikes once, and then the big spike down a couple of weeks later, maybe. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bigger spike. This time, the spike that takes out the July 21st high at 249. So I'm looking for a spike to the 250 area for the next spike up. And that may only be the beginning. So this one will either be a total failure or it's going to be really good. So it's one of those, gambling type scenarios, but I like the management team. I like Tim Rodell. I think he's a good guy. I think he knows his stuff, pulmonologist. I like the hands that the company is in. The head of the board is very prominent. They have real people working for this tiny little company. People that know what they're doing, and they have a device that seems to work, at least to some extent. So I'm sticking with AEMD. Catherine, are you still in it? I haven't sold a single share. I keep adding to it. But again, do your own due diligence. My opinions are strictly on my own and do not constitute investment advice. And some of my thinking is not far different than the analyst's thinking. And this is an example of where my thinking is far different. Most people do not agree with me. That most people would not rate this a strong buy. I rated a buy, not a strong buy, and a hold. Hold to buy. PACB is your best stock right now, Catherine. That's a good one on a nice tear, along with HGen, which we didn't discuss. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up for today. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Jackie. Lunch is over, so you had to go back. Arjun, thanks for coming. Come again. Come on the show again. Let's see who else was here. Taking attendance now. Linda, thanks for coming. Pete, good to see you. Most of our regulars made it. Kamal made it. Who else? We had Greg show up today, and Clarence, and iPizzle. We got a lot of regulars. All righty. Take care. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the trading day. Ciao.